1994 Hall of Famer and one of the all-time Dallas Cowboys greats. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please give it up for Tony Dorsett. Tony D. What's up, TD? Good to see you.
It's just a new day. Another day, another dollar.
How's your headphone volume there? Is that good for you or what? Does that work for you?
You sound pretty loud. I sound not too loud.
Okay. Well, we'll turn me down.
Crank you
up.
Yeah.
Here's a secret. Put that on your ear a little bit. Or do you like one of them off? There you go. Is that better?
Well, yeah, that was the secret.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. Cowboys win 21-7 last night. And so much to talk about in conjunction with that game. And I'm really glad you're here tonight. We had Drew last week.
Good man.
Drew Pearson was here last week.
Yeah,
we had a nice long discussion about your 99-yard touchdown run.
It's all because of Drew. Drew had a lot to do with a lot of my long runs. If you ever see any highlights of any long run that I made when he was with us, Drew was always, I always tell my receivers, you don't have to knock him down, just get in the way. Get in the way, I'll make it happen.
Right, yeah.
And Drew was always getting in the way.
Well, I asked him, I said, Tony's got this blazing speed. How in the hell was Pearson staying up with you for 60 yards down the field? How about that? That was cool.
But you see, I was waiting for Drew to make his move.
Right.
But, on that 99-yard run, when I decided to make a move, I was watching Drew from behind. Drew's a little pigeon-toed and a little slightly knock-kneed.
Yes, he's funny to watch run.
Sorry to give you up, Drew. But but I was watching him as we were running, and Drew's legs started going every which way, man. I could see that he was fatiguing because those legs started going this crazy legs. And so I started making a move, and he dove at the last guy to try to knock him off balance a little bit, and it worked. You know what? That play, that 99-yard touchdown run, has suddenly – it's kind of hip and cool and in again, because I heard him talk about it last night on Monday Night Football. Yeah. Featured in a commercial. Heard Vern Lundquist calling it via radio on radio spots. Yeah. So what I'm telling you, Tony, is you're hip again. It's a resurrection, man. He's back.
You're in.
He's back.
Yeah, that's got to be fun, though. You know what? You remember what year that was? What year was that run?
I remember everything. It was January 3, 1983.
January 3, 1983, the 99-yard run.
Yes.
Now, do you think anybody will break that record?
You can't break it.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah. The field's only 100, right?
You can only tie it. You can only tie it.
You know, I was thinking about, I don't know if you heard this when you came out, but I remember, this is going to make you feel old, but I was at Lake Highlands High School in '77.
Yeah.
And the buzz came out through the lunchroom that the Cowboys had traded up to get you with Tampa, right? Or Seattle? Seattle. Yeah, Ricky Bell went first and you went second. Yeah. You wouldn't believe the reaction of all the guys. We were talking, Cowboys got Dorsett, Cowboys got Dorsett. Nobody could believe it. It was so cool.
Neither could I.
Okay, but how glad are you that
was
I mean, because you grew up a Steeler fan, right? Were you a Steelers fan when you grew up?
I'm still a Steeler fan.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
They just happen to be 1B now. They're not 1A.
There's a pit helmet over there, right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice looking helmet there.
But yeah, from Aliquippa. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Aliquippa, Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
yes.
Right.
Hopewell High School.
And a stadium named after you.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
cool.
Well, I call that going full circle. You know, I mean, that's where it all started, and I never dreamed that my high school would consider renaming the stadium after me. And normally things like that happen, and when you're throwing a little dirt on you, you're 6 feet under or something like that.
Yeah, they usually wait.
They start naming buildings and stuff after you. But yeah, it was a very emotional time for me. That day was a very emotional day.
So Aliquippa population what?
Good question. 10,000.
Small, real small, right?
20,000.
About 20,000 people.
30,000, 40. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
small town.
So we go back to the fact that you grew up a Steelers fan. You get drafted by the Cowboys. Did you have any inkling that there was anything in the works to get you to Dallas back then? None at all.
None whatsoever.
Really?
During the psychology of our negotiations, when I say our, my agent and myself, was to try to discourage the Seattle Seahawks from drafting me. Back then, there was 2 expansion teams. Tampa Bay and Seattle were coming into the league.
That was year 1?
New teams. That was their first year.
Okay.
And, now, you get an expansion team. They get somewhat almost the pick of the litter because they get to get some good players. Back then, it wasn't like that. And so we kind of thought that me going to an expansion team would not be very healthy for me from a standpoint of running the ball. And so we tried to discourage them. And anytime I was at a banquet or making any appearances or anything, I would always say that if Seattle drafts me, I'm going to consider going to Canada, going north of the border.
Oh, you tricky Tony.
When in reality, we weren't going to do that. But obviously it works.
Okay.
So I like to think
I'm
so
just
anyway.
trying to imagine Tony Dorsett in the Canadian Football League. That would have been really weird.
A big field, man. I might have been able to get
A
lot
Toronto
more
Argonaut or a Winnipeg Blue Bomber.
Yeah, man.
Or something like that.
I don't like it. It's pretty cold up there, too. I don't know.
Doesn't have the ring of Dallas Cowboys, does it?
Not that tall.
Wow, that's interesting.
know.
Yeah. So anyway, I remember back in high school, that was a big day when you were drafted and came here to play for the Cowboys. We'll get back to your history here in a minute, but you want to talk about that game last night a little bit?
Well, why not?
21-7, Cowboys win.
Yeah.
Cowboys win. Good day for everybody, right? Makes your Tuesday pretty good, or your Monday if it's a Sunday game.
That's right. It's always good when the Cowboys win.
I have been tooting the horn of number 28 a lot on my regular show, which is 6 to 9 here on ESPN.
Would that be Felix?
That would be Felix
That would be
Jones.
Felix, yeah.
Yeah. So being the great running back that you are, I want to discuss his talents and the Cowboys' running game in general. In fact, back-to-back 200-yard rushing games for the running backs for the first time since you played. That's amazing, isn't it? Back-to-back 200-yard rushing days.
Well, it's amazing from the standpoint of the team of the 90s, with Emmett and those guys. You would think that that had taken place
right
during their time, but obviously it hadn't. But when you talk of Felix Jones, man, he's exciting. He's a very exciting football player. The thing we got to get is keep him on the field. I mean, he's been it seems like every other week, and he hasn't, but we can keep him on the field, man. What an exciting football player.
Okay, I'll tell you what I said a month ago, training camp, whatever, even last week. That since Marion Barber was going to be out, I said, well, I'm going to get my wish. I'm going to get to see what Felix Jones can do if he touches the ball 15 or 20 times a game. It didn't end up happening. Yeah. He had, I think it was 9 carries. But the first 3 times he touched the ball, he had 43 yards.
He was making it happen. He's a very, very fast guy. He's got great vision. He's got a great burst.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, though, with backs today, even here with the Cowboys, Marion Barber has had a problem with injuries, and it seems like since Emmett has retired, there's not been a guy that could be there consistently day in and day out, week in and week out, to give you that 20, 25 carries a game, and he's going to stay healthy. They're having success, though, with the 3-headed monster that they have. Thank God that they do have that, because, with Marion, when he was running the other day, and he went down, I thought somebody looked like he got shot,
mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, man, he's down. He's going to be out for a while. But he's a tough guy. You can't help but admire his passion for the game. I just love to watch this guy play. He just looks like he just enjoys every time he touches the ball. He just enjoys being a part of the play. I just think that his style obviously is not conducive to a very long career in the National Football League because he's a very physical type of guy. He likes contact.
Like your buddy Campbell.
Right, exactly. Even when you're dishing it out, you're still absorbing some. So, but I still love his passion and. Was it Choice?
Tashard Choice.
Tashard Choice.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys, the 3 of those guys, they complement each other extremely well.
Okay, so you tell me. I'm trying to remember when you played. Right out of the gate, you weren't starting from the start of the season.
No.
There was Newhouse
and Preston Pearson.
And Preston Pearson.
Yeah.
So Pearson and Newhouse were starting to start the year.
Right.
Then about game 6, 7, 8, they started you, right?
10th game.
10th game.
I remember very distinctly because we were going back to Pittsburgh. For those who do not know, I grew up in the Pittsburgh area, so I was going back home, and it was a big thrill for me to go back. Be going back home and to be able to start in front of a lot of the fans that I've had back there at the University of Pittsburgh as well as my hometown.
Mm-hmm.